Look at this mess. Terrible. I'm going to show you all something. This is a magic trick you all can do at home. Ta-da! The other night, it got down to 24 degrees. The night before that, it was at about 26 degrees. But as you see, I have coffee plants. I have lots of coffee plants. And I've got more coffee over here. And I've got passion fruit. And if you come over here, I've got a Mexican tree spinach. I've got some lilies. I've got some ashwagandha coming back after I pruned it. I've got bananas, lemongrass. I've got monsteras. I've got key lime. And I've got all these plants that are really tropical. And I only have one working heater in this great big greenhouse. And this is a chintzy little Mr. Heater that goes on top of a propane tank. I do not recommend these things. I bought two of them. This one started choking and spitting gouts of fire out of the top of it on about the 4th or 5th time I used it last year. So this one we have identified as being very, very bad. And to fail that quickly was really completely unacceptable. But I ran this one the one night when it got down to 24 degrees, and we have absolutely no damage in here whatsoever. But on the night that it was 26 or so, I didn't run any heater at all. We just buttoned the greenhouse all up. We had a couple of little rips that we taped over. Like you can see, there's little spots that get messed up, and we tape over them. And all of these tropical plants were perfectly fine, even though it was super cold outside for a period of time. And the reason this is because of these barrels in the greenhouse. This is thermal mass magic. These barrels that I used for my shelves are all full of water. And it takes a lot of energy to freeze water. So these barrels each act as passive heaters. They don't even have to be black. It doesn't matter that much. As a matter of fact, the black ones get a little bit too hot in the summer, but it doesn't matter that much. It's just the heat during the day is absorbed by these barrels. On a sunny day, they're just slowly warming up. And on cool nights, they slowly cool down, but they don't get that cold. And so, even though I have plants that are right next to this thin plastic, these coffees don't get damaged because each one of these is like a passive heater. So, packing barrels into here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, about 37 barrels in here. And a couple of tanks with water in there, and they have some mosquito fish in there to eat mosquito larvae. That's a little minnow that is native here. They're very happy in little bits of water. But that amount of thermal mass allows all these tropical plants to survive and to thrive in here. We've got blooming tobacco in January. We've got finger limes. We've got black Suriname cherry that's actually trying to set a few little fruits right now. All of this is possible because of the thermal mass of these barrels. I don't have an expensive propane system in here. I don't have any expensive electric stuff going on. I just have lots and lots of barrels of water, and I was able to get most of these barrels for $10 to $15 a piece. Some of them I paid 20 or so as I could get them. And I packed them in, filled them full of water. Once you fill them, you just leave them full of water. Use them for your shelves in your greenhouse. I had a greenhouse that was a 10 foot by 20 foot in North Florida. It went through a 12-degree night. It had 8 55-gallon drums of water in it, and we didn't get frost damage. And another benefit is, on a hot day, if I forget to open up the greenhouse and the sun is baking down from above, these barrels keep it cooler in here. It doesn't soar up over 100 degrees and start burning my plants. The barrels work both ways. They just take a little edge off the heat, and they take the edge off the cold, rather like being near the coast. Thermal mass is amazing. And if it got colder here, I would just add more barrels. This is not going to be a long-term solution for somebody in Minnesota, but if you can keep the barrels from freezing over, like if we had 10 days below freezing or something like that, we would be in trouble. But these act like batteries. They are going to eventually freeze. But in our weather here, where we have days that are in the 60s, 50s, 70s, and then you might get a night that goes down to 25 or so, the barrels are just great for getting you through that. They give you a lot more season extension, even if they did freeze in a colder climate. So for Florida, Lower Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, Georgia, Mississippi, etc., this may be the only heat you need in your greenhouse through most events. And I'm pretty sure that if I hadn't run this on the night that it got down to 24, we still would have been fine, because even around the edges, far from that heater, I haven't seen any frost damage. It's like magic. Thank you for joining me. I hope that's helpful. I'm glad to have you all here. It's been really nice to have this greenhouse. It has paid for itself. It gives us some fresh produce, but it also produced a lot of plants for our plant nursery, so it's been a big blessing to have, and it's really a blessing that we don't have to spend hardly any money to keep it heated. I've used a few tanks of propane over the last 2 years, and that's it. Mostly, it's just the barrels. And you can learn about more frost protection methods and how to push the zone and more in depth on this barrel method in my book, Push the Zone, The Good Guide to Growing Tropical Plants Beyond the Tropics. If you are a nerd and you're interested in that sort of thing, there's a lot of interesting information both on barrels and greenhouses, but a lot of it on methods you can use out in your yard to push plants beyond where you thought they could actually grow. And so if you're a plant nerd like me, well, I wrote the book for you. So Push the Zone. I'll put a link to it below. And until next time, your thumbs always be green.